Dude, that's what I'm talking about. This slot can pay. It pays right. That's awesome. Among all pragmatic play slots, Big Bass Bonanza is one of the stingiest, but that doesn't mean it never gives jackpots. On the contrary, it can deliver a huge win even with a small bet. And if you know the right strategy, you can achieve a 60% chance of winning. That's exactly what I'll tell you about today. And I'll show you in practice how I played using this strategy. You'll see my results and also understand what mistakes to avoid when spinning this slot. Without further ado, let's begin. The core of today's strategy is a simple idea, increasing the bet, but I refined it and made it effective. Instead of blindly raising the bet, I developed a special algorithm. After the first bonus round, increase the bet by 50%, then by 100%. Now, I was surprised at how well this method works, and the best way to prove it is to see it in action. That's exactly what we're gonna do right now. I started playing with a $2,000 deposit. Part of it was left over from the previous video, and my initial bet was $4. The strategy is simple. Keep spinning at this bet until you hit the first bonus round. And that's exactly what I did. At first, it was tough. Scatter symbols appeared often, but they didn't trigger the bonus. And the payouts from regular spins were quite low. Thankfully, I managed to land a fish line, which brought in $60. And overall, I noticed that the fish symbols appear most in this slot. However, my goal was to trigger the bonus round, and that was quite difficult. A bit later, I hit the big fish line, which brought in another $68. The balance was dropping fast, and I started thinking the bonus round just wouldn't show up today. But then, after 15 minutes of spinning, I finally landed 3 scatterfish and triggered the bonus. At that point, my balance was down to $1,600, meaning I had already spent $400, so this bonus really had to make up for it. At first, it was frustrating. The first 6 spins were completely empty, but on the 7th, the first fisherman finally showed up, and that gave me some hope. Soon after, the second fisherman landed and brought in $180. Unfortunately, nothing else hit after that, and the total payout from the bonus was just $300. A classic situation with this dumb, greedy slot. Well, the bonus round played out, so it's time to increase the bet by 50%. I raised it to $6 and continued playing. By raising the bet by 50%, I was raising the stakes. Higher risk, but also a real shot at something big. And to my surprise, the fish started showing up more and more, like the slot was teasing me, like it was getting ready to drop something serious. And sure enough, just a few minutes later, boom, another bonus. Now the real question was, would the fishermen finally show up in numbers? You know how it works. Get 4 of them, and you move to the next level with a 2x multiplier and 10 extra spins. I was locked in, hoping this would be the one. First fisherman landed on spin 3, a solid start. Then 2 of them hit at once. Things were heating up, but the payout was weak, and I just needed 1 more to extend the round. And of course, nothing. He never showed up. Typical. This could have been a banger of a bonus, but luck slipped right through my fingers. Still, I cashed $345 from that round, and my balance climbed to $2,162 already in profit compared to where I started. Now it's time to up the game. According to the strategy, after this point, I double the bet. So here we go. $12 spins from now on. Let's see what this tight slot's really made of. A $12 bet carries a lot of weight, and I knew the risks. My balance could disappear in no time, but at the same time, it also opened the door to much bigger wins. Big Bass Bonanza, however, had its own plans. I could tell right away. The winning lines just stopped showing up. It was like the slot had gone into a kind of waiting mode, daring me to keep feeding it. I wasn't backing down. I stayed patient and kept spinning, determined to trigger that bonus round. Now, the balance was vanishing quickly, but I wasn't going to stop. Sure, it was nerve-wracking as the numbers kept dropping, but I kept my cool. Eventually, the wins started to show up. Small ones like $12, $24, just enough to keep me in the game. But my balance was nearing $1,000. In these moments, quitting seems tempting. Without a strategy, I'd probably have walked away, losing half my balance. But I held my ground, and it paid off. Finally, 3 scatterfish hit the screen, and I leaned back, waiting for a big payoff. The first fisherman landed on the 3rd spin. Solid. Then another fisherman showed up, adding $624 to the pot. Was this finally the big win? I wasn't sure, but then the 3rd fisherman appeared too. But once again, the 4th never came. Thus, this bonus brought me $834. What else could you expect from this stupid bonanza? It's frustrating and demoralizing for sure, but I'm sticking to my strategy because I know it'll pay off eventually. I just need to not quit too soon. Again, at least the bonus paid something. That's a positive. So I raised my bet by another 50%, and keep moving forward. If you've watched my video where I showed my profitable strategy for playing Doghouse, you probably know how auto spins can work against some players' superstitions. That's why I decided to play on auto spin at this bet level. I'm confident it'll work. And guess what? Right away, I landed a $180 win. And right after that, a bonus round. So, skeptics, do you still believe the myth that autoplay doesn't work? Anyway, my goal today isn't to debunk myths, but to demonstrate the strategy. So, let's see how the bonus round plays out. And here's where things got complicated. The first fisherman appeared only near the end of the bonus, but the second one showed up right after him, bringing in $600. Then, on the last spin, 2 fishermen appeared at once, and this was the first bonus where I finally made it to stage 2, plus 10 spins and a 2 times multiplier in the bag. All I needed now was to catch a lot of fish, and it would be big win time. But my excitement quickly turned to disappointment when I saw a huge fish worth $900 just swimming past me. Now, in the end, I only managed to catch 3 small fish, adding another $600. In any case, I increased my balance by $1,500, which is already pretty awesome. So there's no need to worry. Although, of course, it's a bit frustrating that the bonus didn't go further. Well, what's next? Honestly, I've already made a pretty solid profit, so I could easily walk away from the game, but I'm recording a video, so why not take a shot at a bigger win? The strategy hasn't failed me so far. The wins are coming in, and at this bet level, the chances of hitting a massive win are only increasing. I'm hunting for those big wins. I love them, and I think you do too, so there was no reason not to raise my bet further and wait for that super powerful bonus round. This time, the bet went up to $35, which is a lot. Logically, this should be my final bet. There's just no point in going any further because the slot play is really tough at such high stakes. Now, if you're watching the gameplay, you can see it yourself. I kept spinning for 10 minutes straight and my balance just kept dropping. Now, I won't drag this out. By the end, my balance was almost gone, but one moment changed everything. Honestly, I thought this was going to be the end of the video because I had no money left for spins. But when I had just $90 left, a miracle happened. A full row of top symbols landed, bringing in $3,500, completely covering my losses. Now, wow. Now, moments like these make me feel like the gambling gods took pity on me and gave me a second chance. Now, these kinds of moments are rare, but the emotions they bring, unreal. Logically, I should have cashed out right then and there, but I still hadn't completed my goal. I hadn't triggered a bonus at this bet size, and since the slot decided to return my money, I had to take advantage of it. I kept spinning. At this point, I wasn't even afraid of losing anymore. I just wanted to hit that bonus round. And when you're spinning at this kind of stake, every press of the button feels like this could be the one that makes you truly satisfied. And after 5 more minutes, I finally got it. Whew. Now, it's all up to luck. But man, this first fisherman showed up almost at the very end and only brought $70. I thought that was it. But then another one landed. Boom. $420 in the pocket. And right after that, another one with an insane $2,000 win. Oh yes. This is what I was waiting for. Even if the bonus gives me nothing else, I can already cash out and walk away with a solid profit. The strategy worked. My balance after the bonus? $5,000. And that's where I should stop. No need to push it further. As you saw, this slot really doesn't play well at high stakes. I was this close to losing everything, but one lucky line turned it all around. And of course, the bonus. The bonus at $35 hit. Of course, as always, I expected more from it, but a profit is a profit, no matter how big or small, and that's already pretty awesome. Well, conclusion? No. Why? Because next I'm raising the bet again, this time to $50 and trying to catch the fattest bonus. Why? Well, just for you, for the content, because personally, I wouldn't play at these stakes, especially on this greedy slot, but the bankroll allows me to take this step, so why not give it a try? Maybe I'll hit a massive bonus. To be honest, betting $50 per spin was probably one of the dumbest decisions I've made, even for content recording, as I drained my balance in less than 15 minutes. With a $5,000 bankroll and a $50 bet, that's only 100 spins, and they went to zero very quickly. Now, I was just crushed, watching my balance almost hit zero. But then something incredible happened. And you can believe me or not, but I had only 4 spins left before total failure. That's $200. And then the same dream bonus for $50 dropped. Now, do I need to tell you that I had no idea what was going on at that moment? I was just shattered seeing my balance vanish right before my eyes, and I was the one to blame for it. Honestly, at that point, I just stayed silent and watched what would happen next. The first 4 spins were dead, and my hands were really shaking, and I turned pale. Then the fisherman appeared. I came back to life a little, but then went numb again because he was was without fish. At that moment, I'd already accepted the fact that I was a total fool and that tonight the casino would have a big celebration sponsored exclusively by me. I'd already come to terms with this reality. But then, after just 2 spins, out of nowhere, a full grid of high-value fish landed together with a fisherman, awarding me an insane $2,450. And before the bonus ended, I managed to grab another $750. The result? My balance miraculously, there's simply no other word for it, jumped up to $3,500. Now, right then and there, I said to myself, stop. To hell with these experiments. They'll make you lose your hair faster than you'll ever see any real benefit. Now, I hope you've learned a valuable lesson from this experience. I know I certainly have. So that's my new strategy for playing Big Bass Bonanza. I genuinely hope it helps you win some money. But please don't treat this video as an absolute guaranteed way to beat the slot. I can't promise you any 100% guarantees because this is gambling, damn it. You're adults, so you understand how this works. However, if you strictly follow my tactics, your chances of winning will significantly increase by around 60 to 70%. So go ahead, give it a try, test it out, and good luck. And if you're interested in even more strategies for other slots and providers, I invite you to visit our website, which you can find below this video or independently online. Our resource is a real paradise for true gamblers, offering absolutely everything needed for a high-quality, confident, and profitable game experience. Proven slot strategies, expert tips from professional players, honest reviews of trusted casinos that actually let you win, plenty of bonuses, and loads of delightful perks for those who truly love gambling as much as we do. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and be sure to watch my next video. I promise you, it'll be just as useful and exciting.